Hello guys, let's quickly introspect the services. So you can inspect the services with the usual kubectl1 get and kubectl1 describe commands. As you can see in the screen, in the example above, we have exposed the service as a node port on port 30001 across the entire cluster. This means we can point a web browser to that port on any node and get to the service. You will need to use a node IP that you can reach, and you will need to make sure that any firewall and security rules allow the traffic. Now, let's let's discuss a web browser accessing the app via a cluster node with an IP address anything x1, x2, x3, x4, which is x1 dot x2 dot x3 dot x4 on the cluster wide port 30001. Now, endpoint objects. So earlier in the lectures, we said that every service gets its own endpoint object with the same name as the service. This holds a list of all the pods the service matches and is dynamically updated as pods come and go. We can see endpoint with the normal kubectl1 command. Now in the command below, we abbreviated the endpoint to AP. I mean this one. Now, yeah, that is self-explanatory. Let's quickly summarize deploying services. As with all Kubernetes object, the preferred way of deploying and managing services is a declarative way. Because they leverage labels, they are dynamic. This means you can deploy new services that will work with pods and replica sets that are already deployed and in use. Each service gets an endpoint object that maintains an up-to-date list of matching pods. Let's take a couple of real-world examples. Although everything we have learned so far is cool and interesting, the important questions are: how does it bring value, and how does it keep businesses running and make them more agile and resilient? Let's take a minute to run through a really common real world example: making updates to business apps. We all know that updating business application is a fact of life. Bug fixes, new feature, etc. Now, let me share, yeah, let me share an example of simple business app deployed on a Kubernetes cluster as a bunch of pods managed by replica sets. As part of it, we have got a service selecting on pods. One second. Yeah, service selected. I'm sorry. As a bunch of pods managed by replica set, as part of it, we have got a service selecting on pods with labels that match app is equal to biz1 and zone is equal to prod. Notice how the pods have both the labels and the service selector requires. The application is up and running. Let's assume we need to push a new version of the app, but we need to do it without incurring downtime. To do this, we can add pods running the new version of the app as shown in figure below, which is this one. The updated pods are deployed through their own replica sets and are labeled so that they match the existing services label selector. The service is now load balancing requests across both versions of the app, version 17.06.02 and version 17.06.03. This happens because the service label selector is being constantly evaluated, and its endpoint objects and VIP load balancing are constantly being updated with new matching pods. So once you are happy with the updated versions, forcing all traffic to it is as simple as updating the services label selector to include the label version 17.06.03. Suddenly the older version no longer matches and everyone's getting served the new version, as you can see in the screen. However, the old version still exists. We are just not using it anymore. This means that if we experience an issue with the new version, we can switch back on the previous version by simply changing the label selector on the service to include version 17.06.02 instead of version 17.06.03. Let's see this figure. This one, the lower one. Now everybody is getting the old version. This functionality can be used for all kinds of things: blue, green, canaries, you name it, and it's very powerful. Let's quickly summarize the last two lectures. In the last two lectures, we learned that Kubernetes services bring stable and reliable networking to app deployed on Kubernetes. They also perform load balancing and allow us to expose elements of our application to the outside world. Services are first-class objects in the Kubernetes API and can be defined in the standard YAML or JSON manifest files, as I have done in the early lectures. They use label selector to dynamically match pods, and the best way to work with them is declaratively. So with that, I'm taking a pause again, and in the next lecture we would be starting a new topic subtitle. Thank you very much.